Alright, so welcome back to the second part of this video demonstration. So now my next step after this is basically to what I do is I get this I get some of this powdered charcoal, dab a little bit, and I just start adding it on some of the areas. It'll like clean it up a little bit, but it's gonna add some tone. What I like to do is I try to remove as much texture as I can. I want to make it smooth. So at this point, I'm gonna just freely start, even adding it on the background. It doesn't really matter if it doesn't look good right now because we're gonna come back in and we're gonna fix it later. So right now I'm just toning it a little bit, removing some of the unwanted lines. Still kind of see the drawing underneath, and that's why it's important to use HB pencil or a 2B pencil, because it'll stay. I don't do it to the point where it's impossible to erase because I could still lift some of that charcoal, but it's good enough that I could tone it and I still have the basic drawing underneath. There you go. So it's like nice and toned. Just try to make it even. There you go. All right. So now I'm gonna go ahead and start using my eraser. So I'm just paying attention to the light, to the values. Obviously in this photo reference, I have they have she has the light coming from this side, so that means everything, all the planes that are facing the light are going to be lit up, and everything that the light doesn't hit, it's going to be in shadow. So in this photograph they used a soft light, so all the shadows are very nicely transitioned from shadow to light. So it's got to be smooth, like a really smooth transition. The only hard light that you see, or the hard edges, are right here along the back side of her. There's a light that bounced behind her that creates a really nice contrast between her and the background. It separates her from the background. Okay, so I'm just like cleaning it up a little bit. And the cool thing is that you could actually mold this to whatever shape you want. Like this. And then clean it up a little bit more. Like that. See a little teeny little piece right here. There you go. Yeah, just paying attention to where the light hits. Like I was telling you, what I was saying before in the first video, the first part, is that it's all about observation, just drawing and capturing what you see. And sometimes you could take your creative liberty and heighten something that you want to heighten. And if you want to make something more as a focal point, then you could by all means go ahead and do it, as long as if that's your intent. The drawing is very satisfying to me. There you go. There you go. So now I'm gonna go ahead and start getting my, I think I'm gonna do my 2B pencil, and I'm just gonna start making some of these areas a little bit darker, more pronounced. Just like this. And we have this like part of the eyelid that always gets, like if the bottom part of the eyelid has shadow, like right here, then this part, the top plane, is gonna be light. So it sort of goes like this. Trying to get the tear ducts right there. Yeah, try to get those lines very, very soft. Her famous eyebrows. Very iconic of her. Like this. There we go. You know, you could take 30 minutes, 40 minutes to do a drawing, or you could take hours to do a drawing. You know, depending on how long or how much you really want to work on it. Sometimes you could overwork a drawing. You know, I personally love drawings that are kind of sketchy still. You can still see the sketch lines. That's some of my favorite art, you know, just being able to see the process, because I feel that, you know, a lot of artists could, you know, you always see a lot of finished work and we're always wowed by it. But, you know, you could take months to do a really beautiful painting. But, you know, to me, just being able to see the process, the sketching, you know, all those lines, solid drawings, you know, I just love that. I think I love it as much as a finished drawing, just being able to see like a sketchbook with all the mistakes the artist makes, you know. So the light is hitting this way, so you know that's why I'm focusing on some of these shadows on the bottom. And also it's all about value. Like there's some areas that are darker, some are not that dark, you know, so you don't want to overdo it either. You know, I just do it very soft when I'm doing these hatchings. Yeah, just gotta get it cleaned up a little bit. And now this area right here is going to be a little bit darker because it's the area that least the light comes in. Like it doesn't really have that much light coming in through here or hitting this part of the of her neck. So it's the least exposed area. I'm gonna come back in with a different kind of charcoal on that area. Right here I'm just gonna slowly do a nice transition between the dark and the shadow. And then the hair. Hair is just a big shape. Like I'm not gonna try to draw every single strand. It's more of a suggestion. Like, you know, I'm not gonna spend a lot trying to draw something I don't see very well in this reference. And it's true in life too. You don't want to draw every single strand. You just want to capture the basic shape of the head and the hair. And obviously, you know, I could keep working on this for a very long time. So I'm gonna come back in and start using some of this wine charcoal, and maybe let's try this one right here. Hopefully it's not too dark. This is compressed charcoal, and it's a little darker. And right now I'm gonna blend it, so it's all good. It looks kind of funky right now, but once I start blending it, it'll be okay. Now I use some of this, like this little sponge. Like this, just blending it, just removing some of those really harsh textures from the charcoal stick, and just pushing the charcoal as much as I can outward. And it's okay, like this little piece right here, I'm gonna erase it. So like I said before, you know, you could use charcoal as a push and pull. You know, you push the charcoal and you pull with the eraser. You pull some of that charcoal out. You could actually lift some of it if it's too dark or whatnot. Gotta get my 4B pencil. Might have been a little bit too much right here, but just lift it. Like that. Then you could also get like one of these little, I guess little swabs or whatever, and just blend it. Just very gently. This. There you go. And I'll come back in with my pencil and just hit some of those areas, and should be good. There you go. Okay, so now I'm gonna go in with white charcoal and just start hitting those areas where the light would hit the most. You don't want to overdo it, just a little bit. Just trying to take care of those values. See, when you use light and shadow, you create volume. You know, you push things toward you, push things away. So right now, I'm adding some of those areas that are closer to the light, and it really gives it like that illusion that it's, you know, that it's a three-dimensional portrait in a two-dimensional, you know, surface. that's pretty much my process of creating a portrait illustration. This is my interpretation of it. And just a hint right here of the pattern of her blouse. Like, I'm not gonna get too crazy detailed here, you know, just a suggestion, because my main area is like right here in this part of the illustration. Everything else is just a hint, a little suggestion that there's something there. And that's it. That's a pretty quick portrait illustration.